Hey guys, I'm back again for another Batman toy video, and we're taking a look at more Kenner figures that I found from eBay. Also, another thing to point out, I'm gonna do something different today. I'm not just gonna try to review all the figures all at once while waiting for most of them to come in the mail and then get into doing them all at once. I'm gonna do it separately. Like a few figures come into the mail, I take a look at, and then I wait the next day for the next thing to come in, and then take a look at that while simultaneously putting it in the same video, and then I wait for the other thing that's supposed to come in and then take a look at that and put that in the same video. So basically, I'm going to look at all of them in one, but I'm doing all the videos separately day by day. Anyway, so I'm just going to stop my rambling and we're going to go on to talking about the figures that I've had so far. So for today, for now, we're going to be talking about Batman Forever figures that I've had now. So I decided to get another figure that I did say I was going to get, and that is, of course, Sonar Sensor Batman right here. And he comes with his little flying disc launchers and shield. I think this is supposed to be a shield, but this is a compartment to have one of those discs right here. This is supposed to be the disc launcher right here. And before anyone asks, this is not a grenade launcher or some missile launcher or anything, or no shoulder cannon. It's supposed to be a sonar scope. The one reason why I wanted to get this figure, even if I'm a little annoyed with the sonar scope aspect of the figure itself, the reason why I got this is because the outfit is basically the unused Michael Keaton third outfit for the potential Batman film he would have starred after Batman Returns. This suit being one of the few examples. But of course, things change. So we got the Panther suit outfit eventually, which we have still yet to have an actual figure of. I mean, I got my custom figure, but that's still not quite perfect enough. But again, I thought it'd be really nice to get this figure. So of course, this definitely looks like a very cool figure. And this thing can go down like that, but it still pops out like that, when really it could have been a way to make that look like it could blend in within its suit and cover it up so that it would have been a perfect Batman figure. But this figure is an almost perfect Batman figure because of the way the suit is designed and everything. The head sculpt is obviously the typical Val Kilmer head, but this is the first version. Like so many different versions of the head sculpt in general, in terms of like the mask design or the cowl design, I'd still say the other variations that came with the figures like Night Hunter Batman and Fire Guard Batman and all that had a better looking Val Kilmer head. Yeah, this head sculpt is pretty nice, but it's not nearly as good as the other Val Kilmer head sculpts, at least. It's just basically the cowl design. But at the same time, just gotta have to just admit that this figure was just undeniably cool looking. Couldn't help but finally decided to purchase this to see how it actually looks in person. And it looks like a very great figure, even though it has that annoying sensor scope right here. Like it just pops out like that, but it just doesn't want to actually, like, you know, blend in within the suit. It would have been better if it blended in within the suit, then that would have made it look like a standard looking Batman that has a cool little pop-up action feature. We wouldn't see it coming. But as of now, it's just basically this thing that just gets in the way. I mean, it's kind of cool, but it just gets in the way of the overall design of the suit. Because again, the suit is really incredible, and the overall figure in general, the sculpt is really good. It's just that it's hindered by this sonar sensor scope right here. It's just, this is quite annoying. But again, love the suit. And I actually like the rubber cape as well. It's like, it isn't too, like, you know, hard plasticky. It's just basically a rubber cape, and it's attached to, like, in between the neck and the body and all that. It's like, I actually do like the way this cape feels. It doesn't look too bad. Heck, I even like how the figure stands up with no problems either. It's like, it's definitely good on that note. So I'm gonna have to put that down again. And yeah, if you look at it from this angle, it just looks like a very standard looking Batman figure. If you decided to take out the sonar sensor part, again, this would have been a great Batman figure. It would have been a really great Batman figure. Anyways, so here's the little disc launcher thing right here, the little blaster. Obviously, it's in the shape of a few bat insignias. And you got the disc right here, which you do see a bat-shaped symbol right there. It looks kind of nice. And it has this little mechanism right here, which you push that and it actually fires like that. This is kind of better than the other one, whereas like I did go over particular types of push type of mechanisms where you basically push the missile itself, like the little, I don't know, it's like what I've been trying to say in those other videos where it's like that Jurassic Park 3 type of action feature maneuver. I mean, I'm calling it that, but of course it existed even back in the late 90s, I guess, or mid to late 90s. So got that part. And then this is supposed to be a shield that does come with an extra disc that you can pop off just like this, like that. And it's basically a separate disc, and this is supposed to be a, I'm assuming this is a shield because of course that's what it's supposed to be. It has a handle right here where you can hold it, but of course when he holds all the accessories in, has a shield up like this. Of course he can only carry just one at a time, because if he carried it all at once it would just hinder a lot. Actually, I think I was supposed to put the shield up like this in this position so he would have enough room for the other hand, and this has some clamps on here. Put that on his wrists and he carries it all at once, but of course it's front heavy. It's not gonna really look good. You're gonna have to have a figure stand or something to make him stand up better. So if anything, it's good without him carrying these accessories. But again, this Batman figure in general, the way the suit's colors are, the design of the suit, just overall looks good. The only thing that hinders this figure is really just this sonar sensor thing right here. That hinders it so much, because the suit in general, or the figure itself, is pretty damn cool. So yeah, I definitely recommend getting this figure, but if you only wanted to make a custom out of it, to like find a way how to epoxy putty resculpt the entire like torso area, just this portion over here, I mean, I would love to see someone do that so I can see how this figure would definitely look, because I would like to try it myself if I decided to buy an extra one of these, to just simply do a test out of it. Because again, this could be a really damn good standard Batman figure if they gotten rid of that sonar sensor thing right there. But again, a really good Batman figure despite the obvious issues. And of course, the next Batman Forever figure that I have in the collection, which is definitely something that I never thought I would get, but I thought it looked like a really cool figure, and that is Triple Strike Robin with multi-cannon slinger. It just looked very appealing to me. I really like how this figure doesn't look like the typical standard Robin. I mean, it's got the right kind of colors, black, gold, and blue, which to me are kind of like Nightwing colors. So this is like their, I guess there's their only Robin figure that kind of look like a Nightwing-ish looking figure. I mean, I don't know, it's not trying to be like Nightwing, but it just looks like a very cool figure. I couldn't help but get this. Plus, not to mention, most of the Batman Forever figures are mostly more Batmans and Robins than any other figure in general, so there's barely enough henchmen or villains. It's just Batman and Robin in different various outfits. I mean, you can say it's the same with Batman and Robin, but the line has a lot more characters than this particular toy line. But again, this Robin figure just looks really cool. And here's the top of the package right here, how he looks. And you know, the funny thing is, the actual look of Robin, his hairstyle, you can definitely see that his hairstyle is quite different than the film version of Chris O'Donnell, of course. So this is definitely a different look on Robin. And it makes me wish that he kind of had that hairstyle on this figure, because that would stand out a lot better. But again, like I said, this looks really, really cool. Of course, you got the Batman Forever logo and the overall cool looking package aesthetic. And also, I never really talked about this, but the way this light is going down here, this reminds me of the Power of the Force figure line. They got the name of the figure and the weapon in the body of that, the tech suit right there, the Kenner logo. And then the back, we have what you can do with the figure. Of course, you got the logos and the figure's instructions on what to do with the actual weapon that he comes with. And then the overall entire collection of Batman figures that you can get in the line, which are a plethora of different types of figures you can get in the line. Got Wing Blast Batman, Neon Armor Batman, Triple Strike Robin, which you already have. Got the Power Center sets with both the Batcave or Batman and the Riddler. Got a Riddler figure with his black suit instead of the standard colors. Street Racer Batman, Recon Hunter Batman, which we already have. Talking Riddler, which we already reviewed. Attack Wing Batman, Martial Arts Robin, Lightwing Batman, Bruce Wayne Batman, Power Beacon Batman, which we already reviewed, Fire Guard Batman, which I used to have but I don't have anymore, Two-Face, standard version, Hydra Claw Robin, Transformer Dick Racing, The Robin Cycle, Ice Blade Batman, Skyboard Robin, which I already have, Batarang Batman, and the Bat Boat. Also, here's the official Batman brand, proof of purchase from Kenner, and the body adapted tech suit thing, and also a bio for that, which I hadn't even shown off a lot in the last video. So now, let's go ahead and get this Robin figure out of the package. Okay, I'm going to reshoot this whole portion, just only the Robin portion of this particular review. Now I'm actually entered the second day, and the next package has already arrived, so I'll go ahead and take a look at this Robin figure once again, because the original take didn't do so well. Anyway, so now that we got our Triple Strike Robin out of the package, I'm quite honestly impressed with this figure. I mean, it's not the typical standard Robin, but it's still a pretty dang good Robin figure. And right off the bat, I'm going to go ahead and do a comparison on how the standard Robin would look like compared to this particular Robin. Now, of course, this Robin's a little taller. He probably might as well be as tall as Iceboard Robin from Batman and Robin. On that note, I might want to get that out. Actually, he's on a middle ground. Yeah, Iceboard Robin is still taller than these two Robins. I don't know, he's a little too tall. Anyway, that's done with that comparison. Just go right out the bat with the Robin figure. I really like the colors of this suit. And this is supposed to be a suit that's more resembling to his Transforming Dick Grayson figure, because this is basically a repaint of the Transforming Dick Grayson figure, which I don't really plan on getting. I just think this figure in general is pretty good. Dang, the exposure just brighten up on there for some reason, but that looks actually kind of nice. But yeah, this particular Robin figure looks really good. The mask design is also pretty cool too, even though it's a little over exaggerated. They could have at least still stuck with the standard Robin mask like this one, but I think this one still looks pretty cool. It gives it a more unique look. Okay, now the exposure just went down. That's good enough. But yeah, like I had to say, I really like the colors of this suit, the overall suit design. It definitely looks pretty cool. The Robin symbol is basically that same concept logo as the, okay, bringing it out again, same design as this one. It's not entirely movie accurate, but doesn't really matter much for the figure. It definitely does look cool. He also comes with a rubbery plastic cape right here, which can be removable. This is actually also the same cape they used for the Transforming Dick Grayson figure, except that was black in this one. Very cool looking, metallic-ish looking blue. I mean, you can definitely see a little bit of a shine to it, but it's a nice little color they had, and this is how the figure looks like without the cape. Now, it kind of would have been a lot nicer if the cape was black, or if it had a cloth cape, blue or black, doesn't matter which, but I think this would look really nice with a cloth cape. I don't know why I didn't show this in the video, but here he is with Skyboard Robin's cape. Like I said, he actually does look really cool with a cloth cape, and it's definitely a lot better that it's in black. But the plastic cape still works well, as far as I'm concerned. Just slap that right back on them. The overall physique of the figure looks pretty nice too. It's not entirely like overly buff. I mean, it's a beefy figure, but it's like kind of matched the overall look of Robin in terms of how he looks. The overall outfit has also got some nice looking boots here with some laces attached to it. It does kind of give out a little bit more of a traditional vibe. I mean, Robin's original outfit obviously doesn't come with those laces, but it looks nicer here than these do, but at the same time, they look really nice, so it adds more of a good detail. Flipping over at the back, of course, this is how the backside looks. Overall, it's a very nice looking figure. I just can't get over how cool this figure looked. I just really like the choice colors, and yes, I will also say that it does kind of give off a Nightwing vibe, because most of the colors on Nightwing is usually, you know, yellow or blue or black, but I don't even want to say this is go as far as Nightwing territory, because there is a Batman and Robin action figure actually straight up has yellow and blue, but it only comes with his motorcycle. But I don't actually have that figure yet, but someday I may get that one. So that's the Robin figure, and he comes with the multi-cannon slinger over here. And I will say this, like in the original portion of the review that I'm reshooting this now. Once I got these out the package, these things were definitely very weird to feel. Like, of course, they're very rubbery, and I already had them attached here, but I'm just going to grab at least one of these. Actually, I'm going to just go grab the Batwing one, because this is the one I like the most. But the way they look right now, you can see they look like they've been weathered, because it just definitely looks like when you rub them up against together, it looked like it got a little dusty. I tried cleaning it off with water. It only seemed to work halfway, but it wasn't really successful, so they kind of look weathered up anyway. But it kind of looks okay. This is very like rubbery, stretchy accessories. I just think they look a nice little design as well. I really like this one, this Batarang looking one. It's nice overall. You also attach these weapons over here, just like they said in the back of the package. There's also a grappling hook looking accessory right here, and a random missile. This looks like an actual missile. Meanwhile, this is just the Batarang, and this is the grappling hook. And there's a hole right here. Attach that to Robin's hand. There we go. Of course, that's how it's going to look like on his hand. It does spin like this. Like to choose which one you want to fire, and you just basically just stretch that out, and it'll fire. And they do kind of fire pretty nicely. They don't fire too badly. I mean, as long as you're probably careful with it. So that's the action feature it is. Like, I won't be demonstrating it with every single accessory. Yeah, it does work. It's just basically a very simple action feature. I might just leave this on his arm for now. But yeah, this Robin figure is quite nice. I definitely do enjoy this Robin figure. I just always liked the way it looked. I'm gonna go ahead and move those accessories out the way so we can just stand right there. So that's that Robin figure. And then the next figure we're gonna go over right off the bat, which just came in the mail, and that is the original Jungle Venom Poison Ivy from Batman and Robin. Got the accessories too. Came with the little rubber vines, and you got this water squirter blaster. Not sure the name of it, but I know dang well this weapon has a name, so I'm gonna have to put that in the text in the video. Take a look at the figure up close. Now, honestly, I said before that I was going to get this figure someday. I personally do think this figure is quite nice, and just like the other figure that I got, it's like, again, that it's got the same head sculpt as well. Basically, it's nothing really too different. I will say the eye pupils right there don't look like they've been painted pretty well, but at the same time, if you look like from a distance away, it doesn't look too bad. I'm gonna go ahead and get out the other Poison Ivy figure to compare it to. I still think this one is a better figure because it just looks nicer. But I will say this figure is also just nice. But it's like, I don't know, both of them are pretty good. I really like both of these. It's kind of funny, is like, I think I did say they do have the same head sculpt, but it looks like it's a different placement. I mean, they do look a little similar to a degree, or they look a little different. It's just one of them definitely looks, I don't know how to say it really, but they both look pretty good. I would say this one has a little bit of a nicer hair flare, and this one just looks like it's got a nicer paint. This one's a little too glossy in terms of the paint. This one looks better. I don't know. Both of them look pretty nice. I will say this one still stands a lot better than this one. This one, you had to like fiddle around a little bit to get this standing up. Yeah, this one's just going to keep falling down a little bit, so you're just going to have to keep fiddling around for it to make sure it stands up. And this one is a lot better at standing. But again, going closer into detailing of the figure, got a nice overall sculpt in the body. I can actually see her abs right here. I didn't even notice that. She's definitely bulked up. She also got some nice vines done on her suit all around from here to there, all the way down to the legs. Again, it's nicely sculpted. And I will also say the posing is kind of nice too. There's the backside right here. Green colors fade down to just black. And we see the detailing of those boots, the vines again. If it'll focus back, there we go. It's just overall very, very nice looking sculpt. Those heels on the other hand kind of look a little funky because it should be able to stand up better. Again, this figure has better heels. This one doesn't, as far as I'm concerned. You gotta fiddle around with it to make sure it stands up. Do I have to? Okay, maybe I gotta do it this way. I'm trying my best to make sure she stands up, but she is a nice figure. She only got one flaw, and that's just not standing up properly. But here's the vines close-up detail. Basically, nothing too special, but it does got some nice texturing to it. They look pretty nice. This vine's also got some clamps on here to attach to something. I'm assuming attaching to the main characters that they get trapped in Poison Ivy's grasp. And then you got some clamps underneath that, so you attach that to her very easily, like so. And then of course you got this weapon here, which is honestly a nicely made weapon. It's just basically a water squirter, and I'm not going to be able to test that out anyway because I don't want to get this whole overall area wet. I might have to do it off screen to see if it still works, but then again, it's a nicely made weapon, but it just carries it like this. All I gotta really say is that this Poison Ivy figure is definitely quite nice. I'm glad I finally ordered in my collection, and also she can stand up a lot better with her accessories on, so that's another thing to point out. Anyway, so that's all three of these Kenner figures. Now, let's just wait the next few dang days for the next thing to come in, which is not particularly a Kenner product. It's for Spin Master, and it's finally the new Spin Master 1989 Batman Batwing. Also comes with Batman from Batman Returns. Finally, after all this time waiting, finally got the darn set. Just waiting and waiting in the mail for, at this point, weeks. It's been quite an annoying freaking wait, to be honest, because I was seeing a lot more people getting a hold of these right off the bat. I had not been spotting these in any of my stores at Target and Walmart, so basically I wasn't really in luck. I already pre-ordered this from Amazon like last month, but yeah, been waiting all this time and it finally arrived, and I finally get to take a look at it right alongside these other figures I've already taken a look at. And seriously, this is literally one of the most exciting figure sets already. I'm just still glad that Spin Master is going out their way to make this particular set of figures for the 85th anniversary of Batman. But again, it makes me a little spoiled because I kind of wish they made some 3¾ inch or 4-inch scaled Joe Schumacher Batman figures. I already mentioned what I wanted in the past video, which is basically the review of the separate Batman Returns action figure. But this is about the Batwing this time, so we're going to be taking a look at this. So on that corner over there, you have the Batman DC 85th anniversary logo up there, alongside showing the Batwing of the original Batwing from 1989's Batman, which then you show the logo of that particular movie right there, and the separate Batman Returns Michael Keaton Batman figure with the Batman Returns logo up there. And right behind both the figures and vehicle, you see this comic book-like aesthetic in the background, basically showing comic panels of various Batman illustrations from comics. Again, I said that before in the last video on this particular figure, and I'll say it again. It's just such a cool aspect of this particular set of figures, especially when it comes to this package. And even more so, I'm seeing more Batman logo shadows and stuff like just spread across the whole package. It's just looks really cool and aesthetically pleasing. On this side, you have the Batman logo, Batman movie collection, Batwing plus 4-inch, 10cm Batman. On this side, you have the movie logos over here with the DC logo right there, the 85th anniversary logo right there, and same thing, but showing off the figures alongside over here. Nothing special on the bottom because who the heck cares? It has a little assembly piece right there on the bottom. And then over here, showing a bit more of the standard digital looking rendering. I guess this is obviously the final rendering of the whole figure. Just the only thing that thing can ever do is basically just open up the window for the cockpit. But yeah, that's basically it for the back of the package. There's really nothing else special to go over. It's basically the same aesthetic. Also, more comic book-esque panels and illustrations on the package on this side, more than the other sides. But yeah. Alrighty, so now it's time to get this whole set out of the package and assemble it and see how it looks. Alrighty, so we have the 1989 Batwing assembled and the 92 Batman Returns action figure out of the package. Now, before looking at the Batwing, we can get a closer look at the 1992 Batman Returns Michael Keaton Batman right here. So this is basically the extra variation that I have, because here is the first version. We're going to already go and compare what's so different about these two. Now, already, there's a few differences. If the focus won't stop messing with me, but here's a few differences. One, in my understanding, the head sculpt. I mean, it's nothing really too obviously noticeably different other than the skin color that one's a little paler and the other one looks a little bit more flesh tone. And obviously the biggest difference on this one is that the pointy ears on this one is absolutely not hindered by any plastic rendering. So of course this looks a lot better than my old one, or quote unquote old one. But the only thing that ever stands out positively on this one, that the body is a lot cleaner. There's like some scrape over here. It's nothing too seriously noticeable, but you can clearly see what's clean on here and what's like not so clean on here. So probably some residue or something that I don't know if I can get that off or anything, but without a doubt, we can already see the difference that this one does have some improvements a little bit on this one. And there is a little bit of an imperfection on the painting of his face, because you can definitely see that, well, you can definitely see the difference right here. You can see one overlaps okay-ish, and like one is on there just fine, and this one happens to be a little underpainted a little bit. You can definitely see a little bit of a seam over there, like how it's not entirely finished on there. I will have to say that I definitely still do kind of like this one more, because the flesh tone skin does look a lot better. And also, again, anything's better with the much more straight pointy ears than the bent pointy ears that I had on the one I had on the package. I mean, of course, I could still try to remedy this, but I don't know. They both look just fine. That's all I gotta really say. I did say I was gonna at least customize one of these. The only thing I really wanted to do was just give them an extra cape or something, or like a really darn good cape, because again, like I said, the cape is pretty disappointing. It's not a bad fabric, but it's just still not really that great because it doesn't cover the entire body. I mean, it could obviously use a better cape than this. And again, I explained that in my review of that figure, so you can go check that out. But enough of that figure. Let's back it up a little bit and take a look at the Batwing. This Batwing, being one of the most iconic Batwings of all time, from one of the most iconic movies of Batman's history, this is just a gorgeous looking Batwing here. And not to mention, it has a little bit more detail than the Flash variation, which we will compare a little bit, but this literally has a lot more detail than the Flash variation. The Flash variation definitely felt like they just kind of rushed it out a little bit, but even then, that was still a pretty good Batwing. But this one right here is still missing a few action features. They really wanted this to really go big, but then again, it don't really need as much because again, for the price you pay for it, $20 particularly, it's definitely a very good price value. But again, the detailing on this Batwing, from this detailing over here, and they even painted in certain aspects over here on the wings. You don't see that on the new one. And by the new one, I mean the one from the Flash. Just looking at the paint details they got over here, the missiles they sculpted on here. I think these are the machine guns right here. But yeah, the machine guns are right here. And they, I thought they would go on the other side, but they're right here. And yeah, you can definitely see more detailing was added to this and a little bit more labor of love put into this particular Batwing. It's just the shape and everything about it is exactly how it looks straight from the film, without a doubt. And this is such a lovely, lovely vehicle, a lovely aircraft. Of course, opening that cockpit, this piece opens up, or I could just do it like this. There we go. Right down there, you can see, I don't think that's stickers. It looks like it's actually individually painted from the inside. Yeah, you can definitely see that it looks like all the detailing right there, all the buttons and the mechanisms have been painted in on this side. And then in the front in the cockpit, which I will try to get into detailing, to seeing, that is an entire sticker right there, placed right there. Might not be able to see it too closely because the detail got softened on the camera, but as you can see, there's the overall look of how that sticker looks, which is basically the overview of the Batwing. And heck, there was basically none of that detail on the Flash variation, which again, we'll be comparing a little bit because I'm already getting ahead of myself. But again, they added this much detail on this Batwing from the inside. It's just very, very cool that they did so. And already I put Michael Keaton's Batman inside the Batwing and he fits nicely in there. Can't really do that with the Flash variation, unfortunately. I had to move everything out the way to hurry up and compare these two together. So this is the Flash variation from last year, and this is the one we got for this year, celebrating 35 years of the original Batman film. The one thing that I always liked about the Flash Batwing right here is that it's basically a modern rendition of the original Batwing right here. In a way, it definitely still holds up as a really good looking variation of the Batwing, or at least one of the better looking Batwings I've seen in recent media. But even then, I will say that it doesn't hold a candle to the original variation. And already, just looking at the detailing and everything, you can see that you can still have some detailing over here, but it lacks certain aspects to make it look like it stands out as a really good looking Batwing, because this one right here has a lot more put into it. And again, nothing in the cockpit, like literally no paint, no stickers, nothing. All you can do is set the Batman figure in there, and plus he's too small so he can fit in there snugly. And that Batman fits in his Batwing, but he's a little bigger, so he cannot be able to fit him in this one because, yeah, I literally tried. It doesn't work, which sucks because this Batwing is pretty cool, and it would have been nice if you could use your standard Batman figure from this particular toy line and put that on there. I mean, it should work, but it's unfortunate because, again, like I said, this figure and this figure set from the Flash may be pretty good, but it's disappointing because the scaling isn't correct. But with a little bit of effort, at least you can try. Hold on a second. You can put this particular figure in this Batmobile, the standard Batmobile from the Flash. This is basically the one that doesn't have all the cool gadgetry and action features. This is basically the cheaper version you get with an extra young Barry or something. So slide that in there. He fits in there perfectly. And if you really want to try the Mattel variation from the Multiverse movie toy line, yeah, that's not going to work because he's a little too tall. That's unfortunate, but again, he looks aesthetically pleasing right next to it. Again, it is very nice that we finally have the Spin Master Batwing right here, the 1989 rendition, alongside our 1989 Batmobile on the Flash, of course. But regardless, it's still from the exact same movie, Batman 89, and it's still pretty cool. They both don't got no working gadgets, but they are affordably priced, and they're really some darn good figure sets. Alright, so that's going to be it for this figure lot of action figures from Kenner and Spin Master, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, and, well, actually, let me rephrase that. Kenner, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, and Spin Master, Batman 89 and Batman Returns. So, of course, this is definitely all 4 movies now we're going over with the particular figure sets. But again, it's very nice to own all these figures. Much more nicer to own the Spin Master Batwing for the first time, finally getting a brand new Batwing that's basically the original Batwing. And this is the only Batwing I have because I don't have an actual like Kenner Batwing to go with, or a Toys Biz variation, which that could also be a little bit difficult to track down in good condition, to be honest. But seriously though, it's very exciting that I finally got all these figures. And now I must take another break. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Oh yeah, and by the way, I've been seeing a lot of Batman animated movies and series by now, so I'm basically on a Batman mood even more than just watching the Burton and Schumacher universe. So yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll be watching more animated Batman goodness, and I'll be seeing you guys later.